before we get started, just to set the tone.
Just to set the tone.
Especially for the Mega Man 2 episode of this. That's
exactly.
It really,
this book.
really sets the tone. Yeah. But, you know, it always sets the tone.
What's that?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to PixelLit.
It's the audio version of being goosed. Every time he does that, you feel
My
it.
name is Kevin. Alongside with me is Phil. And today, joining us to talk about Metal Gear, the Worlds of Power Metal Gear, is Jesse Guarascia from, well, you know him from a few places, including the NoClip Podcast.
Yep.
Jesse, what else do you do? You're an editor.
Too much. I don't sleep often.
You don't sleep often.
That's the one thing you might know me from. I'm an editor for Matt McMuscles on YouTube. Do the what's it called, the What Happened series. What's it called? Like, I don't do it every week. I worked with Rasputin for a good while. Another video essayist out there. Had my own channel called Chadunda. Don't look it up. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh no, I'm working with Brendan James right now on Blowback for season 3, doing some assistant editing on that one. So yeah,
nice.
Like I said, too much. I need to suck down some coffee.
Yeah, all the things. And so today we're talking about Metal Gear from the esteemed Worlds of Power collection, which is created by our good friend of the show, Seth Godin, who AKA FX9.
Right.
So, primary thoughts. How are we feeling about this book? How did it strike you? Before we get into the blow by blow.
Yeah.
What stood out?
Jesse, why don't you start with this one?
Sure, it was bad. That's my first thought on it. I mean, I said it before we started recording this. It's a lot of words in sequence. You guys were talking about this on the first episode that you did with Scott, and I mean, this feels like someone was just doing a Let's Play and just wrote down everything that they went through in the game and tried to give it a narrative that it did not have. And it turns out the narrative they gave, it's pretty mediocre, pretty like not fun, not good. The first thing that stood out to me, and I know we'll get to it later, but I can't get over it, is the Gaddafi thing. Why? What? Sorry, I'll let us get there, but that just is stuck in my mind.
Phil.
I think this is still, I think right now for me, is not as good as Ninja Gaiden.
No, Ninja Gaiden is the top.
2.
Ninja Gaiden is a number 1 on the Worlds of Power
Ninja
list,
Gaiden has
and
been
I think
the high water mark.
It would take a lot to dethrone Ninja Gaiden because it had a coherent plot from beginning to end.
No, but I will say, the stuff that was made up, is so weird and over the top that it's not like Hideo Kojima couldn't have come up with some of this stuff anyway.
Sure.
Right.
So
yeah.
But I'm not the Metal Gear guy. Like I don't know very much about that franchise.
Nope.
And I know, Kevin, that you've got your handle on that.
Ish. Yeah. I mean, I played the first 3. When I say first 3, I'm talking about the solid. Once it gets solid,
that's what got you in, eh? You know,
Hey,
Snake Solid.
Solid Snakes. Speaking of Snake Men, that's not a thing.
Is that no? Right?
Let's talk about the Snake Man.
Yeah.
Let's just, you know what? Let's talk about. Let's just start at the beginning. So, chapter 1, we get a bold proclamation of Solid Snake's name being Justin Halley.
Justin Halley.
Come on.
What
really?
What's kind of name is that?
Justin.
He is not a Justin.
No offense to my Justins out there, but
I know a good Justin, but like, come on. I don't trust a Justin to invade a military base under any circumstances.
You trust Justin to bring you like a 6-pack of beers at 10 p.m. and he's drinking one of them.
Justin's on his skateboard bringing me a pack of Reds. Okay,
Right.
That's all.
Right. And he calls your mom Ms. K or whatever. Like what you know.
But he's totally hitting on her at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
the older he gets, the more bold he is.
Your basic Justins are your Poochies of the friend group.
Yeah.
Solid Snake is not a Poochie.
No, you sure?
No.
I mean, this is the novelization.
This is a very Poochy
The
novelization. But yeah, so his name is Justin Halley, and we've already lost 15 snake men, and these are
snake men.
These are the tops. These are the tops of the Marines. Are the snake men who are also Foxhound members, but also snake men. And I don't
like
we got a lot of animal references here.
It's a big animal book.
It feels like someone argued with somebody else. They're like, snakes are cooler than foxes. Fuck you, foxes are cooler than snakes. And they're like, guys, we can have them both in here. And they'll both be badass.
Let's use them both interchangeably, and that won't be confusing at all.
No,
of course not.
No one's going to have a problem with this.
All these group names won't blur in your mind by the end of this very long book.
So he has a meeting with General West and Commander South, and they're like, you know what you got to do, Solid Snake, Justin, you got to go take down Colonel Vermin Katafi.
Didn't even try to not have that be Gaddafi. Like, could you at least do something with the letters there?
Well, and here's the thing. Let's say that you don't know who Gaddafi is. Let's say you don't know.
Yeah.
It's still Katafi.
Yeah.
His name...
Like the evil villain that is the most scary terrorist in the whole world. His last name is Taffy? What is this, Willy Wonka? Fuck off.
Yeah, C-A... uppercase T. Katafi.
Yeah.
C-A... Is that it?
That's a really good point. How do you even...
Uppercase C, lowercase A, uppercase T.
Right.
Taffy. I don't...
Which, of course, in whatever remote, terrorist country he's from means son of Taffy.
Right.
We have to assume.
Of course. That's why he's... I hate that. I love that, but I hate that. That's really good.
I think that's the only appropriate
You nearly
reaction,
got me with a spit take there.
I almost...
You almost got me with the spit take.
So sorry. He's Katafi, but he's not from Bibia, right? Like, wouldn't that make sense? If you're going to drive home the Gaddafi thing, why wouldn't he be from, from Bibia or Ribia?
No, he's from, they mention a fake country in there somewhere.
Or something dumb like that.
And and it was, the writing, I was like, this...
Nuria,
Nuria, which is
listed as small but incredibly wealthy and savage desert country.
And I was like, oof.
I'm sure that has no ethnic
implications.
When did this book come out? 90. Okay.
1990.
Comes from Birak.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Nuria.
This is very...
Well, Nuria at least is kind of like, they just made up a word. They couldn't do that with Katafi.
Yeah. I don't...
People are going to lose the thread.
Yeah,
those kids aren't
know.
that smart. We want them to hate Gaddafi as much as we do.
These kids are watching the news.
Gaddafi. But his golden guns are so cool.
They are. Let's be fair, though. They are.
Let's be fair. Gaddafi's gold-plated handguns fucking slapped.
They were.
That is my hot take of the day.
The only thing I like about this dictator is, he had some sick-ass guns. That's for sure.
If I had to like one thing,
if I had to say one nice thing about
You're at his eulogy. You got to figure out, man.
Insert that drill tweet where it says, you in fact do not have to hand it to him.
Yeah. You're turning the crank, the racism crank. You're like, which way does it go?
Yeah.
Where do you want me to stop?
What's coming up?
You in fact do not have to hand it to him. So they break down the mission, which is you have to get into outer heaven and find Dr. Petrovich, his daughter Ellen, and the Metal Gear.
Ooh, that was really good.
This is my favorite part, by the way, because it's like, now we find out that they're going to try and screw over our good buddy Justin here. We know that that's happening. But I love our intelligence sources have hinted at something called Metal Gear. What Metal Gear is, and when it's scheduled to be launched against us, we don't know. We don't know what it looks like, whether it's airborne or how it's armed. We don't know how or even whether it can be disarmed. We presume it's controlled by a hidden supercomputer and that it carries nuclear payload. Why? Why do you assume that?
It's like they didn't finish the game. And they're like, I'm pretty sure this is what Metal Gear is. It's probably a nuke thing.
You're going to go on a date. I don't know what his name is. I don't know how tall he is. I don't know what color hair he is. I don't know what his favorite movies, his hobbies are, or where he works. I assume that he's Iranian. and that he buys his Metro cards by the month. I don't. Sure.
Yeah. Hey, whatever. Oh, this poor guy. He's just trying to be a terrorist, and you're putting him down. All right. They can assume that he's doing all these horrible things. He's a terror man.
He's a terror man.
He's a terror man.
Oh my God. What we are sure of is that Metal Gear is the most powerful and evil weapon ever devised. Okay.
This book does that a lot, where it's like, we don't know what this is, we don't know who they are, where they are, but we know exactly what's going on.
I don't know who he is, but tell him to get that mole on his upper left shoulder checked.
Yeah.
And Justin's just all about it. He's super
all about it.
Oh,
In chapter
he's the best
2,
soldier.
Chapter 2, mission accepted. He is.
They tell us right off the bat.
He's Sir Yes Sirs himself right through chapter 2. And we get.
Oh, this is my favorite part about chapter 2, by the way. They just throw this in. They're talking about Ellen, Dr. Petrovich's daughter. We don't know whether she's alive or dead. If you find her alive, she may be of help with her father. Try to rescue Dr. Petrovich too, but if you can't, you'll have to kill him. What?
Yeah. Like, why don't you just do another mission? Like, what? Just leave him there. It's okay.
Whatever. Either you have two options: rescue or murder.
Death.
Yeah. I think at one point they're like, even in chapter 1, they're like, I don't know, we can't make you do this, Snake. That you have to accept it. You have to volunteer for this. Make it, motherfucker. This is the American military, right? They can't make you do something.
Yes, they can.
Now,
they can, and they will.
This is what they're talking about when they say that the army's too woke, guys.
We can't force men to murder.
That just wouldn't be PC.
And then we get into a conversation about who are the Snake Men, and we're like,
oh yeah.
I feel like this conversation should have happened already.
This should have happened already.
But there's a breakdown of like the Snake Men don't officially exist. You'd be like, but I thought they were called. I thought they were originally called Foxhound. And be like, no, it's Snake Men now. We'll call them Foxhound later.
Right. Yeah. It's like a garage band that keeps changing its name based on. It's like, no, man. Spitfire's totally not cool anymore. We gotta go with Metal Oblivion now. That's what cool.
But we're still gonna use the printouts that have Spitfire because that's the most up to date information for our show next Thursday.
And they can't read the logo anyways. It's just a bunch of random shapes, so it's fine.
And we only have the one cover of Something in the Way by Nirvana, so that's I don't know if it's gonna make a difference.
Bring them back for the Batman movie then. Yeah.
I may have been in a high school band called Spitfire.
Oh gosh. So they're gonna Haley is just a diversion apparently, and they're actually there's gonna be a full regiment of Marines doing the real attacking, and Haley is just supposed to be in there setting off alarms and causing all sorts of trouble, but he doesn't know that, and he's listening to Jennifer. No, he's listening to Diana. But there's also Jennifer, and at this point I'm like, I don't know what having a stroke feels like.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm with
But
you,
I
man.
have a feeling that it might be this last few paragraphs.
Yeah. Even when they try to explain what Jennifer's about, it still makes no sense. Like,
It's so convoluted.
why are you doing this? Why would you even have another person? Also, whatever. Sorry. Well,
Why are Jennifer and Diana spelled with all caps? Is that an acronym?
why is
Or what
Diana
is
boss man? What
Why
is
she
that
boss
about?
man? Where did Big Boss go?
Yeah.
We're just throwing Big Boss out. We're swapping in Boss Man, but that's also Jennifer. Chapter 3, getting in.
Getting in. Oh, now we're getting to the good shit. Getting in.
So Solid Snake gets in there and he calls the Colonel and he says, "Colonel,
You're so good at that. Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to sneak in, but the clap of my ass cheeks is
Jesus.
alerting the guards.
I'm dummy thick.
I'm dummy thick, but the clap of my ass cheeks is alerting the guards."
Do you moonlight as David Hayter? What's going on? What's happening in here?
I figured if we're doing Metal Gear, I'm just going to try
you
to
gotta nail
have
it.
my
This is
Solid
good.
Snake impression as much as
I don't
possible.
see why not.
Yeah, hey.
But no, he does. He gets in there and Jesse, you were talking to me about this before Phil got on. What does he do? He other than basically sex panthers himself.
Bro, that's exactly what he does. This whole book is Solid Snake cosplaying as a panther. Or not even cosplaying, RPing. He's like straight up role-playing a panther. It's amazing. It's
And he rolls a
whole
20.
book. Yeah, like he nails it. He's really good at it, like scarily good at it. He keeps bringing up his Snake Man training. Yeah, okay. Just say you're at the
All right,
Chippendales and you're in your panther practice, all right? Just live with it. Be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
He rubs himself on a tree to pick up panther musk, so that
And it starts with one of the most, and we've already, like you said, we've already run into some confusing sentences in this book. We've got his nose wrinkled. Solid Snake recognized that smell. Panther musk. Why?
Yeah, like
Why did he
dude,
recognize
it's from his Snake Man training. What do you mean why? We all read the book, right?
We will find out later that he hears these people talking in a foreign language that he doesn't even have a hint. Dude, he has no idea what they're speaking.
But he knows like 40 languages. They're like he
It could
knows
be-
like every
yeah,
language.
Yeah. It could be Farsi or Portuguese as far as he's concerned. But he knows what panther musk smells like. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry, he is very familiar with panther musk. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Every time.
Yeah. Oh man.
And he gets chased down by a bunch of Dobermans. And yeah, Jesse's absolutely right. He literally gets down on all fours and starts hissing and yowling
Yep.
like a cat. And the worst Dobermans ever.
Yeah. Like
they
they're
run,
murder
man.
dogs, and they're like, ooh, oh boy, I haven't seen a human before ever in my life as a dog. He's
We weren't
hissing.
ready.
We weren't ready for they ran because they just got weirded out. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
You know what?
What happens if I eat this guy? What's gonna happen to me?
what's gonna happen? Is this some sort of like mad cow rabies type of thing?
Oh, he's one of those humans that got fed other humans. He's not doing so.
He's not doing so. He's got the
Soylent
misfolded
Snake.
prion. I read about that, and
Yeah, if I don't get the vaccine within 24 hours, it's actually really dangerous.
it's
Oh,
very
man.
dangerous. Yeah.
And by the way, you know, they're throwing him under the bus, but I think my favorite part about, they sent him with nothing. They said, we can't send you with anything but this compass. It's a super compass that has a microphone and a transponder in it and all that shit. And what they don't tell him is there's no mic. They can hear him, but he can't hear them. And he spends like 2 or 3 times this chapter just taking the compass and going, can anyone hear me? Is anyone?
He's talking to just a regular ass compass.
And I just imagine all the people back in HQ going, look at that fucking idiot. You look so stupid, Solid Snake.
moron. Yeah.
Oh, he's
that's
so stupid. You were right. This is a good idea.
This is smart. This is make him think that the compass is the tracker, so that'll distract him from the actual tracker.
Like, the compass doesn't even work, right?
It doesn't do anything. It's just a compass.
No, so why even give it to him? Like, what, to make him feel better? You already have the tracker on him. Why did you give him another thing that he'd be like, oh, this is the tracker?
He spends a long time talking into this thing and not getting as much as the word boo.
Exactly.
He is
easily
really
10
concerned about the compass.
And
for a snake man, for a snakeman man, who is so highly trained, you would think he would be able to like figure out direction without a compass. You know, you think he'd be like one of those people who'd be like, that moss is growing on the northern side of the tree, and and I'd be like, hello, compass.
we find out that lots of basic military shit that any infantryman would know, he has no comprehension of, but he knows how to speak dog in like 40 languages because that's how it works. Dogs just respond to words.
Yeah.
And we have another, I'm going to keep a list of these. Maybe we'll share them on social media. Just a list of the most bizarre lines in or out of context. And one of my favorites here is his canine vocabulary would be of no use here.
Yeah.
He had only seconds to spare. Yeah, so he could say halt, sit in German, Russian, Swahili, Chinese, Japanese, Arabic, and a dozen other tongues.
Irish, Gaelic, Hindustani, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. He's got it. But no, anyway. We're in chapter 4 now.
We're in chapter 4.
He figures out the dogs and pretending to be a big cat, and
try that at home, by the way.
And now
he training your dog.
He knocks out a guy who is already sleeping.
Right. Our hero, Solid Snake.
Solid Snake, everybody.
Oh, I love this. Oh, the next part. Oh my god.
So basically, he just so he knocks out a guy who was already sleeping, and he finds another guy who is pointing a gun at him, and then he CQCs that guy down, and he decides not to take the gun because there may be metal detectors on the way into the Outer Heaven compound.
Like
the thing that catches his eye is the card key. And these goddamn card keys.
Oh my god.
Really, this was my favorite part of this entire book. Was when he would get the key cards. It made me laugh every time it happened.
Every time.
Every time in my head, the little Zelda da 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 played.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course. Oh.
Yeah. We get we get a lot of random shit in here. And then, it comes to, he finds some field rations. And it says, they may be packed densely with nutrition and vitamins, but they taste like a cross between cat food and an old rubber tire. And speaking as someone who has eaten MREs from that time period, he got everything right except for the nutrition and vitamins part. They are garbage. I don't know if they might be better now, but back in the late 80s, early 90s, they were fucking terrible.
So Phil grew up as an army brat. And
I was in a Boy Scout troop that was an Army Boy Scout troop, and it was that's
like double nerd.
It was double militant is what it was.
Double militant.
We were the militant Boy Scouts. It was really weird.
You were the early snake man.
All of our troop leaders were Vietnam vets and kind of shaky. And we would go and I like camping. We'd go camping, but we brought MREs for like at least one meal a day. You'd eat MREs. And you got to know the ones, like the one that I kept getting, which was just disgusting, was chicken a la king, which is just chicken and vegetables and stuff in this horrible red sauce in a bag. And sometimes you just like put it next to the fire, like in the vicinity of the fire to warm it up.
So it's like a paste. What do you just like it's like Go-Gurt? You just like suck it
it's
out?
like paste. You'd snip off the edge of the plastic thing.
Is it like that episode of The
mouth.
Simpsons where Homer starts compressing everything down into a bar? And he takes, and he takes like a pound of spaghetti and meatballs and he turns it into like a bar and he eats it in one bite. And then
it was not unlike that. You would it would come with there was sometimes like a dehydrated peach bar, and it was just like a light styrofoamy block of dehydrated freeze dried peach. I'm assuming, and a couple of us got the bright idea to put it in our water in our canteen mugs. To like get some
to rehydrate it
into it. Yeah. And it just was disgusting. We just took it off to the edge of the woods and dumped it. We were like, fuck this.
Bar's bad, water's bad.
And then you got the tiny little thing of Tabasco and those became souvenirs. You just line your window with these tiny Tabascos. They were adorable.
Oh man.
I had a weird childhood.
It sounds fun. I mean, in like a weird, gross way with the tube of chicken a la king.
It was gross. It was really gross. I wonder if any of you are old enough that you remember that very specific thing. Please reach out and we'll start a focus group.
I thought you were going to say like a suicide pact, but
that too. Why not?
Oh man!
And then we come to this the beginning. What I like to call the beginning of Solid Snake's paranoia. This man is so trained that everything is deadly. He finds a pack of cigarettes and says, could they be poisoned? His instincts told him that they could be a deadly trap. And I was like, no one knows you're there. They're just having us, like, they are deadly. Don't get me wrong. As a former smoker, they're not good for you, but not in the way you think they are.
Well, so they even say that later in that same paragraph. Like, even if the cigarettes contain no added poisons, they were deadly enough of themselves. He decided to leave them
they want to remind the kids at home.
Yeah, don't smoke, kids. Just like Solid Snake.
Which is hilarious because the cigarettes are
it's like a mainstay of the series.
It's a mainstay of the series, and it's something that you use to solve a puzzle, I think, in the first Metal Gear game. I think there's a scene later in the book where he lights a match. And he uses a match. In the game, you use a cigarette to do the same thing.
Oh, man.
Colonel.
Oh, my God.
Cigarettes are cool.
Yeah.
It does make me think, though, and Kevin, you'll almost certainly... and then later he picks up the matches. I just wanted to go, oh no, the matches are poisoned! But my instincts were wrong. No, but the old arcade games back in those days used to open with a like the PSA, like don't do drugs,
right?
They opened with two things. One, something from Nancy Reagan saying don't do drugs or whatever, and the other thing was I think there might have been an FBI warning. From good old Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Oh God!
It wasn't until I was in my 30s, I think, that I watched some video and some guy mentioned those in his YouTube video, and I was like, wow, those really were kind of weird. Like I just that was just part of it.
It was just part of it. So we're in chapter 5, right? That's what we're going.
We're in chapter 5.
We're going into.
He makes his way into the compound.
Did not need to be a whole chapter.
No,
so chapter 5, subtitled "Level 1."
I love it. How meta can you get?
Seriously?
We get a lot of these chapters end up becoming like. He's going down a corridor and he's trying a key and then he goes into a room and then he does this. It just becomes kind of like a play-by-play of what the player was doing.
Right.
That's literally a written Let's Play. Like it's awkward.
It's a written Let's Play. So it's 2 elevators, east and west, which I if I recall correctly, is kind of like how the map was laid out. And he uses the key card to open the door and he surmises that only Vermin Katafi himself carries all 8 key cards. Actually, no, he doesn't figure that out. That's the author telling us. The author breaks kayfabe for a moment. and turns to the audience and says, "Ooh, watch out, Vermin Katafi has all 8." And then we get a game hint at the end of the chapter.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I love the idea of the 8 cards, individual separate card. Could you imagine if you forgot what card you had to use for what door?
And that's part of the gameplay of the first one is you had to constantly swap the cards. The first Metal Gear is basically a Metroidvania, and you have all these key cards. And in order to get into certain rooms and certain hallways, you had to go to the menu, equip key card number 2, open that door, go through the door, go to the menu, equip key card number 3, go into. It was like constantly swapping key cards. So this reflects some of the dumb stuff in the first Metal Gear game.
It makes me think, because I remember I played a little bit of Snake's Revenge, the second one. But I didn't play much of the NES ones because I remember as a kid, the Metal Gear games were kind of this anomaly for me and a lot of other kids I knew, because it was like, oh, you can't just you don't just barrel in killing everybody and shooting everybody. You actually have to be quiet at times. And it was over our head. It was for the older kids as far as we were concerned.
Yeah.
It was too
Snake,
much.
this is a sneaking mission.
Yeah.
as we all know. In chapter 6, we're in chapter 6 now. Solid Snake has a gun.
Finally.
Yes.
Finally, I've been waiting 20 whole pages.
He's got a gun with no ammo, and he is not going to use that gun until later when he sees mutated scorpions that I don't even think are in the game. It's like, let's just drop a Contra enemy. Like in
I was
the middle
just gonna
of this
say
book.
That's gotta be like Seth or somebody in the team was like, are we gonna make a Contra? We're gonna make a Contra book, right? And they're like, no, we didn't come through with Contra. Like, fuck it, put a Contra monster in Metal Gear. I don't care.
It's the one I
Hear
like.
the music now.
Add it. Oh God.
So he finds Chuck Robinson, a snake man, and a good friend.
What is with these names?
It is
Justin Halley, Chuck Robinson.
They have what's the name of that old NES baseball game with the made up names? It has like oh God, I gotta look it up.
Are you talking about All-Star Baseball or All-Star or Bases Loaded? I don't remember. I only ever played RBI Baseball. That was the only one we had.
It has like names like Steve McDykel or something like that.
I think. Oh wait, isn't that the one that like the Japanese were like, come up with Americanized names, and they were like, okay, and they just did their best.
Yes. Here we go. I found them. Slev McDykel, Anson Sweeney, Daryl Archideld, Anatoly Smorin.
Yeah, sure.
What game is it?
Ray McSriff.
What? Which?
It was a fight. It was called Fighting Baseball for the SNES.
Fighting base. That one I didn't play. That one I don't know.
The famous one from that list is Bobson Dugnut.
Yeah, Bobson Dugnut. Benched right field for Milwaukee because of course. What?
Oh my God.
Dugnut. So Snake rescues Bobson Dugnut.
Yeah. Dobson, it's me, Halley.
We got Dobson over here. See, nobody cares.
Yeah, that's fine. God, we're gonna hit an all-time high reference point for this episode.
And he warns them about the terrible burning from the heat.
The vents, the panels.
Panels.
Yeah. Not vents. They're panels. Which means they're just like hot panels on the ground.
Eat the rations.
Yeah.
You got to eat the rations.
Why? What? In any context, when have you ever had to eat something to up your body temperature? So that you don't burn it?
I'm sorry. Did you not fool your mother into thinking you were sick by eating extra breakfast in the morning to up your
My bad.
body temperature.
You know,
to
I
get
never
to that
had the
all-important
rations like you did,
102.
so I never got to have the experience. Are you still heat proof from having those rations when you were a child?
You have too many rations
Right.
and it doesn't work anymore.
it
turns off.
It's like
your resistance. It became a problem over time.
becomes a problem. You're chasing that.
I'm basically a reptile. I have to lay on a rock.
You're
to
chasing that heat resistance.
Phil's geothermal.
Yeah. Fucking MREs, I swear to God.
But the way he's written, by the way, Chuck, with the whole no, you gotta listen to me, the heat panels, and all of a sudden in my head I'm filling in the heat panels, Morty. You can't.
Yeah. He's burping. He's throwing up blood.
Oh, geez, Rick.
Don't try to talk
more rations, Rick.
Yeah, just take it easy.
Oh, jeez.
So bad. Good.
We're gonna collect a list of impressions that we
References.
do in this episode.
Yeah, impressions made in this episode. No cartoon voices were heard in the making of this episode.
God.
Oh,
damn.
Solid Snake. Oh.
There's got to be a Rick and Morty game book that you guys have to cover and just keep doing. That'll be the whole
there's
thing.
the Rick and Morty Dungeons and Dragons.
There you go.
We could do that.
Please.
That's actually, that would be a good bonus episode. It's just talking.
That would be fun. and then we'll just run one. We'll do a live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. So he sees the deadly trap, which is a huge rolling device, a giant steel pin. That's the end of this chapter, and that's just like a random room that you walk into in the game. There's just like this rolling pin moving back and forth, and you just have to walk around it.
But you can totally see why that would be something that an adult who wasn't necessarily fully versed in Nintendo games would like grab onto.
Yeah,
They're
totally.
like, oh, there's a room with a pin that rolls back and forth. We'll do something with that.
Yeah, that sounds interesting, and it's just like the most innocuous, like, kids playing video games see that kind of shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like just these like little room traps or whatever. It's nothing special. It's just like, it's just moving back and forth, and you time it and you go. But in this, translated from a game, something that you get through in 5 seconds becomes
It's like if they novelized Sonic the Hedgehog, which they have. Like
I can't wait.
Sonic approaches. It's like he sees it, a ladybug, but not a ladybug. It balanced on a single wheel. It could hear whirring mechanics underneath it. This was Robotnik's ladybug, a lobotomix. Like
that's so true.
Later.
Like who wrote this one? Alexander Frost. Yeah, they saw that rolling pipe.
Fucking cool name. By
That's
the way.
where Justin
Alexander
Halley.
Frost.
That's totally was him. Like, what if my first name was Justin? What would my last name be? Not Frost. Halley.
I feel like Justin Halley is the name of the actual author.
Yeah.
And he wanted to name Solid Snake Alex Frost, and like something got mixed up.
Something got confused at the printer, and they just did a find and replace all somehow.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gosh, that's such a bummer for you, Justin. I mean, Alex.
Alex
Frost.
Mr. Frost.
So there's two things that happened in chapter 7. He gets around the pin, and then he solves one of those slidey puzzles, you know, like the little cheap plastic ones where the one tile is missing. He solves that, and it's a picture of
Katafi. You gotta love the branding. You gotta love the dedication to the brand. You know, the puzzle you have to solve is, what does my face look like?
What does my face look like? The guards have been trained. The guards have been trained on what my face looks like.
I mean, I think that might be the most realistic thing.
Sure, I would buy it. I would buy it.
A highly narcissistic fascist dictator is like, all right, in order to pass into the next room, everyone has to do a puzzle where it's my face. You have 1 minute.
You have 1 minute.
Get to know my face.
So,
now, real quick, is that in the game?
So I was skimming through a Let's Play. I did not see it.
That seems insane. That doesn't feel like a Metal Gear part. I would have been surprised.
I mean, it feels weird to come up with that for a story of just like a thing in either context.
Yeah, I don't know what would be weirder, to be honest. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, I would if Kojima, if that was a Kojima original, be like, I buy it. That tracks.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But here, I don't know. It does feel weird. So he unlocks another dude, and he saves another Goonie. And
yeah, exactly.
And
what's his name? What's this guy's name? Jim Tibet.
Jim Tibet.
Wait, are you? No, that's not his name.
That's his fucking name, dude.
Oh my God, his name is Jim Tibet. How did I miss that?
Every name I'm laughing at. This is the best.
Jim Tibet.
Just brilliant.
It's just
we get a morsel from Jimbo that Gray Fox is here and he's still alive, maybe. And Solid Snake is like, can I trust Jim? And this is just a recurring motif of like,
I kind of love this moment personally, because this is a moment that it started to turn for me, because
in which direction?
Jim Tibet, all. That's a fair question. No, Jim says, I have a message for you from Diana. She says, Gray Fox infiltrated the enemy several days ago. They captured him, but he's alive. And I went, wait, he came here to rescue you. Why do you have a message for him? None of that makes sense. Yeah. And as I'm thinking about it, I turn the page and he says, when did he get that information? Before he was captured? Could he trust it? Like, so the author asks that question too. And I start to notice throughout the book, the author starts pointing out things that are stupid.
Yep.
In the game. And I don't know if it works or not, because we're going to see it a lot more. The author is like the author's doing what we would have done, playing the video game going, why would he know that? That doesn't make any sense.
He's a prisoner. Why would he know anything?
Right. And he's picking it apart. And I don't know if that makes the book better or worse. Because on one hand, I'm like, okay, good. The author sees it too. And on the other hand, I want to go, just go with it.
Like,
is the author going meta right now?
A little bit.
This does make you think of like how goof-ass even some of the most, of that time period, some of the most highly regarded video games end up sounding when you try to explain them to people. Like, this is totally, it's easy to mock it because they're fucking stupid.
They thought about it. They thought about the plot and story elements of this game. There's a game that starts with, are you a bad enough dude to rescue President Ronnie? That is the thrust of the story, and that's it.
That's the extent of it. That's when games were made in somebody's garage by 3 high school dropouts and a dream. Like, that's so true. It is not the same as it is today. It just isn't.
Oh God. So Justin gets a bunch of guns and ammo.
I like, by the way, that we're calling him Justin, that we're insisting on not calling him Solid Snake.
He's not,
because this is not Solid Snake.
No, it's not.
This is like. Have you, Phil? You'll probably remember this. You know the other Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
You know the other Ghostbusters where there was like a gorilla and a car or whatever.
And the guy who was the voice of
Jesse, you seem confused.
Is this the real Ghostbusters, like the animated one?
No, it's not.
So the real Ghostbusters had to be called the real Ghostbusters because there was another show called The Ghostbusters, another cartoon called The Ghostbusters about people who hunted ghosts. And amongst the team was a gorilla, and
I'm looking this up.
Ghostbusters cartoon. I can't even find it because it doesn't even rank. But this is basically Justin Halley.
Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah. What the hell?
Justin Halley is basically that version of Solid Snake.
Yeah.
He is the animated Ghostbusters story version of Solid Snake.
Yeah, Solid Snake, if you got him on wish.com.
It's wish.com, Solid Snake.
By the way, I've never heard Kevin more like amped and passionate than the moment he said just now, because he's not Solid Snake. I've known Kevin for over 10 years at this point. We've talked about things great and small, and I've never heard that level of righteous indignation. Because he's not Solid Snake.
He's not. Phil, it's almost we're nearing 14 years of knowing each other.
Oh, congrats! Wow, and finally he's heard you actually get angry like that.
Finally,
and it's over this.
Yeah. Finally, calling that was the line in the sand. Was
That was it. That was it.
Solid.
You gotta find a thing a man cares about. You can't twist a man's arm
Right.
when he's down. It's just not right.
find a thing he cares about and take it away from him, and you get a dangerous man.
Oh Jesus. Okay, yeah, in this chapter, man, he's got his second key card, we know that.
He gear porns up. He does the gear porn.
Exactly. And the chapter literally ends with him. He's got his grenade launcher, he's got a heavy bandolier of grenades over his chest, he's got guns, he's got knives. He looks like Link in Zelda 64 when he's just armed to the fucking teeth. Now he looks like a fighting man. That is literally how the
Chapter
ends.
8 starts with Justin talking into his compass like a fucking dumbass.
Fucking moron.
General West and Commander
Hello,
South.
Control, do you copy? Can you hear me, guys? I'm here. I'm right here. It's me, Halley.
It's
I'm
me.
still
It's
here,
Justin
guys.
Halley.
Pick up.
Are you, guys? Are you mad at me? Did I say something wrong?
Did I say?
'Cause I feel like things were cool before.
Where's
and
General West?
Is
he there?
I wasn't serious when I made fun of the last season of Gilmore Girls. If that's what you guys are upset about, sorry.
I really like
I'm just
April.
very
I really
lonely.
like April as a character.
I thought she was really cool. I don't know. I think I read on the internet people didn't like it, and I was just trying to get on the bandwagon. I'm just okay. I'm gonna go assassinate some people.
Bye. I'll call back in a couple minutes.
They're really listening back there. Like, what a fucking dork. I haven't even seen Gilmore Girls. Screw this guy.
One of them was like, I don't know, man. I feel bad for him. I don't think he's okay.
Oh.
So let's see. Yeah, he's sneaking around, and he finds another guy, and his name is Frank Witkowski, which is the most Monsters Inc. sounding name that this book has.
It totally is.
What? Yeah. Wow. Frank Witkowski.
Yeah.
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah. Where's Sully at?
Where's Sully?
By the way, on the way to finding our latest Snake Man, Justin loses the compass that he believes is a very important transponder piece of tech. He loses it because he catches his sleeve on a nail that's protruding from one of the crates that he's walking by, and it sends the compass flying and into a trap door and out of sight. And all I thought was they spend an entire chapter talking about how this is the greatest member of the Snake Man that has ever lived.
Yep.
He is lithe as a puma and silent as the night. And it's like he slipped on a goddamn banana peel. Like,
Caught on a nail, and it's like, I've murdered millions, and I'm one of the most highly 15 men can't do this job, I can. He gets caught on a fucking nail.
It's like he is the most dangerous man alive, and it cuts to him, and he's like, with cat-like tread upon we feel.
Just going all out. Yeah,
just Pirates of Penzance over there,
all the way over.
Oh my god, this is Jellicle Solid Snake.
Yes,
I just realized. Holy shit!
It is.
Oh god, damn it!
He's on his way to the heavy side layer. That's what outer and inner heaven really are.
We've entered the musical theater portion of the show.
Jesse, I may have majored in theater.
Ooh. I wish I did.
When you were knee high to a grasshopper.
Shut up, Gramps. Knee high to it. Get out of here.
I like
Phil Gramps Keeling. I'm into it. This is cool.
This better not awaken anything inside me. Anyway.
Listen, my back does hurt, but I need everyone to back the fuck off right now.
Oh,
goodness.
God.
So Frank Witkowski gives him just the most solid advice you could possibly give a man in Justin's position right now.
You might call it solid snake advice.
Yeah, pretty solid. He says the best thing for you at this point is maybe let yourself get captured. There it is.
I was late on it, but it took too long to load.
It's getting closer.
I'm getting closer to actually hitting the drum joke on time. Continue.
So, he says the best thing to do is to get captured on purpose so you can infiltrate better. And
more deeply.
Justin,
that's what it is.
Oh, yeah, they do say infiltrate more deeply, which I haven't seen 3 words in a row that bum me out that much in a long time.
I feel like I feel like penetrate is going to be in here again sometime. I know
it's gotta
I
be.
clocked at least 2 or 3 times that they used penetrate, and
yeah,
it's a bummer.
It is a shame.
Wow, 5 times they used that.
Did you just do a word search?
Yeah, I had to. I didn't know. I had to know. I didn't realize it was so often.
See, that's why we had you on. You do the good work. We get to now. Here's one of the other moments of the author, I think, recognizing this is fucking stupid. And he finds a submachine gun with a full clip. So we get this paragraph. With the Beretta, and now the lightweight, rapid-firing automatic MAC-2, not to mention the grenade launcher, the grenades, and the anti-tank mines, Solid Snake was becoming a walking arsenal, ready for any fight. But it was also a pretty heavy load for one fighting man to carry. This comes up in the book constantly. Yep. The fact, this guy is like a DM who's asking you every 5 minutes about your encumbrance levels. And that is not a mechanic in Metal Gear. I remember that. Yeah. Like you just carry your arsenal like any other 8-bit Nintendo game.
It's basically the what was it, the Halo the Flood moment where there's half a chapter of Master Chief trying to figure out which gun to take because he can only carry 2.
Yeah, and it's just like, we don't need to complicate this more. The kids aren't worried about the encumbrance level of Justin. I don't think you should either.
What if he's too heavy though? Will he be able to stealth? It's like, guys, move on.
He's gonna fat roll, and
this might be the only time in the entire history of PixelLit where the author adding to the story, it actually kind of diminishes it. Normally, that's our favorite parts in the book. When the author's like, all right, I'm going to add some colors, some stuff that you wouldn't get out of the game. And it's great. It's just, you gobble it up. It's so wonderful. And this is a moment where you're like, I don't know if we needed this.
No.
That's got to be 15, 16 pounds. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it gets really, really, really intolerable after too long. You do calisthenics, it's a fucking mess.
It's a mess. It's a nightmare. Hey there, everybody. Tune in next week for part 2 of Metal Gear. And remember to rate the podcast wherever you're listening to it and follow us on Twitter @PixelLitPod.